What's going on, guys? Welcome to a Final Fantasy Wave Extras video. And 4 units, even though 2 of them are actually free, so that's why they're not in the thumbnail. 2 of them are actually free, and this one is one of them. Garland, who got an STMR upgrade. Now he has 75% Main Eater, 100% limit burst damage, 400% TDH, 500% cap. I wish he had 600%, but I guess that's only exclusive to better NVAs that have been in the pool. 100% all killers, and also 50% extra human that he had already in his 7-star form. His SL, I'm not going to bother mentioning his LB. So his SLB, 87% defense and spirit break, 125% fire, wind, water, earth, and dark and peril. Not that big of a deal. 230 times dark physical damage, 27 hits. And 50 times mod boost only to himself, and also is 3-star for some reason. LB only. So the modifier would be a little bit higher in the next one around, but I mean, is it really that good? No, not really that great. I would say the best thing is it's just you can get his STMR a lot of times. You can get his STMR multiple times because on the JP version, because you can use Star Quartz to get those. So some cons. His highest passive for mod buffs are pretty much just nothing really you would even be looking at, and he's really just a useful free chaining option, but nothing else besides that or really anything worth talking about. So that's why his sheet is pretty short here. So I don't know if he's a free unit, so not really point in grading him, but like I mentioned, he's a good free option for chaining purposes if you don't have a whole lot. And for new players, especially when this comes to global, hopefully they're going to give out more shards or something to get him more of him to EX3 maybe even, because on the JP version they didn't really need to give too many shards out for him because you can get him, like I said, for Star Quartz, but on the global version you can't do that yet, or at all, or maybe never. So there has to be something that you can to get him to EX3, because on the global version that's the only way you can get him is through the event. Or if you played before and you had a 7-star of him then, but that's not going to get you to EX3. So there's got to be a way to get them to EX3 on that global version. Anyways, Marilith, her STMR is unstackable, just want to mention that, for the flat magic. You can still equip 2 if you wanted those killers, but you're not going to get 1,000 flat magic. So she's a little more interesting than what I thought she would be, because she's not a complete copy and paste, but she's a little bit. So she gives herself an all allies chaining. Well, she already had them, but you know what I mean. Like, she has a chaining ability that she can give to everybody, and they instantly get a 200 times mod buff for that chaining ability for that period of time, and also triple cast to everybody but herself. But I think that's on purpose so that she'll be the one that caps at the end, I believe. I'm assuming that she has a capping thing at the end that she can use. That's why she gives herself quad cast, but she only gives triple cast to everybody else. So there's got to be a reason for that, right? That'd be kind of weird if that was not the case. Lots of fire magic and chaining options, of course. Fire imbue for all allies, 25% amp, decent. 600% cap, 150% limit burst damage, okay. 200% killers for insect, beast, human, plant, and demon. And the LB is 125% fire and peril, 50% limit burst damage, 150 times one hit magic damage. Just not very good. Obviously you're not going to really be using this, but the SLB is a little bit better. 135% fire and peril, 100% demon and insect killer buff, and on top of that you get a 300 times mod for fire magic finishing, one hit. But the bigger thing is 300 times mod buff for some of her abilities, which is much better. So she'll actually be getting 500 times in total. If you time everything correctly, depending on your EX level, you'll be able to have a 500 times chaining plus whatever else she has. Because she also has some more modifier buffs for some of these abilities, so it might even be higher than 500 times. So pretty good. She offers really not much else other than just giving everybody chaining and fire options and stuff, so not much else other than that. And weak finishing, which we'll be talking about shortly. Only 100% true to wield, so you got to work on getting that to 200%. And her LB will just fall short of being any top tier damage. I mean, Dark Rain has 50% more modifiers, and he is struggling to deal a gigantic amount of damage compared to Renoa. So, just kind of whatever. You know what's funny, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? Rubicante is basically the Fire Renoa. So I think Rubicante might be doing more damage than her in terms of finishing, but I think in terms of chaining, she was quite good. So, I already talked about the SLB and this cooldown thing. Stay tuned to the end of the video, by the way, because I'm gonna be talking about or showing off a new feature on the quality of life feature that the JP version just got, and the global version will get eventually, regarding Arena. Anyways, you have Warrior of Light here, or Fledgling Knight, Warrior of Light. I don't know what the. I'm assuming I'm just gonna say Warrior of Light because everybody knows who that is. This STMR is very, very good. Look at those stats. Those stats are like, wow, I want that. And I actually got him on a ticket, so I'm gonna be testing out his one of his abilities we'll be talking about here in a video in the future, whenever I get his shards. So preemptive cover on both sides, also cover on both sides. Just wanted to point that out because I did mention that before that he may not have it, but he does. 50% targeting chance on both sides. On the base form, 85% attack and magic breaks on a normal ability. Not too bad because you don't, just if you need it. Dispel for an attack, magic, and attack buffs. Decent. Like basically a perfect dispel for attack and magic on an enemy if they can be dispelled. The LB, I'm not going to really mention all of his stuff that he has, like 250% defense, true to wield. He has some burst damage and stuff. I'm not really going to mention any of that stuff. I'm not going to mention any of the killers because I really don't think he's going to be that big of a damage dealer. He'll help out a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. So 135 times defense, scaling 24 hits, 87 attack, and 85% magic break. It's kind of weird how it's like that. They're really afraid of getting like 90% breaks on the JP version for some reason. 75% general and physical mitigation, and also 75% aquatic, demon, dragon, and reaper mitigation. And his brave shift Olympus is basically the same thing, except it's 7 hits and it's a slightly higher modifier, so I'm not going to mention that. It's almost exactly the same Olympus in the brave shift form. In the brave shift form, however, he gets one turn, one time only, but 99% general mitigation for himself. That's incredibly powerful. I don't think we even need that, but I mean, it's there. And also 50 times and 30 times mod buffs for all allies. There's a lot of conditions in regards to those, and that will take up way too much room. So yeah, there's some conditions in regards to those, but it is a mod buff, and I'll be testing that out in a future video. Anyways, no infinite turns, unfortunate, because the modifier buff cooldown is on his brave shift form, of course. His brave shift LB is not much different than the base LB, except besides different hits and modifier, like I mentioned. And he has a 60 times mod buff as well on that cooldown, but only for himself, sadly. Sadly, only for himself. At first I thought it was 60 times for everybody, but nope. Sadly, only he gets it, and everybody else gets to just get the crumbs. So I was already set on giving him a 9 out of 10. I forgot to score Marilith. I would go 8.5 on Marilith, by the way. Whoops. Skipped over her because I was so hyped and talking about Warrior of Light, so sorry about that. 9 out of 10 for Warrior of Light, very good. He has all the options you would think that you would normally have on a physical tank. He does not have evasion in his brave shift form for whatever reason, but it's not that big of a deal, really. Just make this guy a huge buff tank. Like, look at his STMR. 100% HP on top of 800 HP. Like, that's crazy. That's a lot of stats. And he gets 500 flat defense. Just make him into a physical tank. Don't make him evasion. You don't want to go no evasion. Anyways, 9 out of 10 for Warrior of Light and 8.5 for Marilith. Anyways, moving on to another free unit. The Lord of Light, or Kami-sama, or God, a literal God. His STMR is pretty valuable. A very good free-to-play option because it has 50 attack and magic with no restrictions. You can equip that on anyone. However, only for him, he gets 250 attack and magic, and for physical DPS only. At first I thought, when I read the news, I thought it was for physical tag units, but what they meant was the physical roll. So for physical DPS only, 50% TDH, pretty good. And for magic DPS, the opposite of that for magic, 50% magic TDH, so pretty good. He has 16, 22, 27 hit frames and also some one hits. One of them is a one hit 1440 times chain or finisher, light finisher. Decent. Thankfully, he is not a real hybrid. He does not have any actual hybrid damage, thankfully, because he would be really bad. On the JP version, they don't give hybrids the time of the day, so thankfully he is not an actual literal hybrid. However, he is a mix of physical and magical, so you basically have to decide on what you want to go for. I think physical is probably going to be more of an option though, because we'll talk about shortly. 200% TDH, 200% magic TDH, and to remedy a lot of that, his vision card will give you 100% TDH for physical and magical, so that'll help out a little bit. 500% cap, 250% level per damage, which surprised me. It's a little bit higher than it normally is, so all you need to do is give Yuna's STMR to him and he's all set. 150% human killer, beast killer, reaper, machine, stone, and dragon. That's pretty good options. Flat attack and magic on EX2 and 3 are for free because you can get them through logins and also the missions that are currently going on. His LB, 150% level per damage buff, 100% beast and demon killer buff, 150 times 3 hit physical damage. Yep. So you would really want to build him as a physical damage dealer more than magic, but if you really need magic, I guess you could build him that way. The SLB, 150% beast and demon killer buff, 250 times physical damage, 3 hits, and a 500 times mod buff for all of his damaging abilities, for himself of course. So pretty decent. Remember guys, this guy's free, so it's going to be harder to criticize free, guys. It's harder to criticize what is free. So like I mentioned, you can't really nitpick too much about him because he's free. Thankfully he's not a hybrid. Not a real hybrid, so he's going to be a lot better than he would have been without with the hybrid modifiers. And most of his abilities, besides his cooldown and one ability, are costing him first crystals, so that is one actual negative thing about it. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. He's free, so I'm going to give him not a score because he's free. You're not pulling for him. You're giving him for free. So pretty impressive though. Pretty impressive. I thought this Actraiser collaboration was going to be like a pullable event, and it's not, so good. Anyways, if you stay to the end of the video, I have a special quality of life change I want to show you. So as you can see here, we're in an arena battle, and you can actually choose between using one orb or using all the orbs, and if you win, you get to use all these orbs. So I think that's pretty interesting. Let's see if we can win. This is my arena team, 7-star Ellie's Unite. She has a normal attack, so that's pretty good. And Luna Freya is always on my team because she gives full load burst garage for Odin. Gauge for Odin. So I will always have her in my team. And we were able to win. So what do we win after we win? Theoretically 10 orbs are completed. What happens? I'm really curious about this, what the ranking system is going to be like. Didn't shoot up very high, but it looks like you get all the rewards all in one shot. And all the orbs are done. Wow. Wow. Now it doesn't seem like your score goes up a whole lot. The convenience of the orbs might make it so you don't rank up a whole lot, but I mean, who cares about rankings in arena anymore? Doing all 10 orbs like that in instant, like less than a minute, is like a huge time saver for me because I'm always, worried about that kind of thing. So wow, that's like one of the best quality of life changes in the whole year so far. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hope you guys are looking forward to that quality of life change in the future. Hope to see you in the next one though. Peace.